Tonight's Shooting Stars will not disappoint. They got chef Jean-Christophe Novelli on the show, along with Heather from EastEnders, Cheryl Ferguson. That's later at 9:30, while right now on BBC Two Scotland, only one can make it through to Friday's final.
Tonight, 4 former Mastermind champions face each other for the first time. First, Gavin Fuller, Mastermind champion in 1993, answers questions on the musician whose tubular bells rang out for decades. Elizabeth Horox, the 1974 champion, on the myths and folklore of a legendary king. Shaun Wallace, champion in 2004, on a phenomenally successful American comedy series. And Chris Hughes, Mastermind champion in 1983, on one of the golden periods of British steam trains. 4 former winners, 2 rounds of questions, just one aim: to become the Mastermind champion of champions. Welcome to Mastermind Champion of Champions with me, John Humphreys. 4 more winners of the Mastermind title will take the stage again tonight. As ever, they will face 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 2 minutes on general knowledge. The winner will go through to Friday's final, where they could win the ultimate Mastermind title, Champion of Champions. So, let's have our first former champion, please. And your name is?
Gavin Fuller.
Your occupation?
Newspaper librarian.
And your specialist subject?
The life and music of Mike Oldfield. I won Mastermind in 1993 when I was 24, making me the youngest ever winner. When I applied for a job at the Telegraph Library the next year, the job specified for a graduate with good general knowledge. Now I thought, well, I've got a degree and I can put Mastermind champion on my CV, so I think that covers it, and it did help me get the job. The Mastermind Club was formed in 1978 from former contenders who'd thought they'd had such a bonding experience from being on the programme, it'd be worth setting up a club. I'm privileged enough to be the club's secretary. We have an annual reunion, and there's also a quarterly magazine we issue called Pass, inevitably.
2 minutes on Mike Oldfield, starting now. In which Berkshire town was Oldfield born in May 1953?
Reading.
Correct. What was the name of Kevin Ayers' backing band that Oldfield joined early in his career?
The Whole World.
Yes, Oldfield had a top 5 hit in the UK in December 1975 with which single? A reworking of a Christmas standard.
In Dolce Jubilo.
Correct. In which studios, owned by Richard Branson, did he record Tubular Bells in 72 and 73?
The Manor.
Yes. What was the name of the 1984 Oscar-winning film for which Oldfield composed the soundtrack?
The Killing Fields.
Yes. In his autobiography, Oldfield mentions a 1-year-old lion that came to stay with him, although he turned down the offer of keeping him as a pet. What was the name of the lion?
Clyde.
It was. What's the second musical instrument to be introduced on the original Tubular Bells by Master of Ceremonies Viv Stanshall?
Reed and Pipe Organ.
Correct. In December 78, Virgin released Oldfield's Take 4 EP containing Portsmouth, in Dolce Jubilo, The Sailor's Hornpipe, and which other track?
Recorder Rondo.
Correct. What's the name of the Norwegian singer who contributed to several of his songs, including Pictures in the Dark, and with whom he has 2 children, Greta and Noah?
Anita Hegeland.
Correct. What's the title of the second album that Oldfield released on the Virgin label? It's also the name of a hill near Oldfield's home in Herefordshire.
Hurgist Ridge.
Yes, the 1983 hit single Moonlight Shadow features which soprano on lead vocal?
Maggie Riley.
Correct. What was the name of the duo he formed with his older sister? They appeared in the pubs and clubs of Reading when Oldfield was 15 years old.
The Sally Angie.
Yes, who's credited with producing the 92 album Tubular Bells 2 alongside Oldfield and Tom Newman?
Trevor Horn.
Yes, what name was given to the form of self-assertiveness training that Oldfield underwent in 78? He credits it with turning his life around.
Exegesis.
Yes, which ABBA song did he cover on the 1980 album QE2?
Arrival.
Yes, at which historic building did Tubular Bells 2 have its live world premiere in September 92?
Edinburgh Castle.
Yes, what was the title of Oldfield's second 7-inch single released in the UK by Virgin? It did not make the charts and had a B-side dedicated to his mother, Maureen.
Don Alfonso.
Yes, which double album of contrasting musical themes was released by Mercury Records in 2005.
Light and Shade.
Yes, an extract from Tubular Bells, I've Started So I'll Finish, was used on the soundtrack of which 1973 film?
The Exorcist.
Is correct, and that was a perfect round. No passes, 19 points. Well, he's set the standard. Let's have our next contender, please. And your name is?
Elizabeth Horox.
Your occupation?
Retired teacher and writer.
And your specialist subject?
The legends and literature of King Arthur.
Congratulations on winning a magnificent series.
Thank you very much.
I won Mastermind when I was 28 in 1974. The first 3 winners of Mastermind, I was the third, were all women, despite the fact that the proportion of women entering the programme is very small compared with the number of men. And interestingly, 7 or 8 of the first 10 winners were all teachers of some sort or another. I think partly it's because a television audience is far less frightening than a load of 14-year-olds.
King Arthur's legends in 2 minutes, starting now. According to Mallory, in which castle did Lancelot hide Guinevere after their love had been denounced?
Joyce Gard.
Yes, in the coming of Arthur, who was clothed in samite, mystic, wonderful, she gave the king his huge cross-hilted sword.
Lady of the Lake.
Yes, which king sent 12 ambassadors to Camelot, demanding that Arthur accept his superiority, an act that triggered the Continental War.
King Ryan.
King Lucius, according to Geoffrey of Monmouth, the history of the kings of Britain, written in the 12th century, whose mother was the daughter of the king of Demetia.
Pass.
To whom did Arthur take the sword after he'd removed it from the stone in the churchyard?
Kay.
Yes. What was the name of the king who, according to Mallory, was converted by Joseph of Arimathea in the city of Sarras, but was later blinded by God?
Everos.
Everlake. In the Idylls of the King, in which wood was the oak tree where the sorceress Vivian entrapped Merlin, leaving him there to die?
Rocklander.
Yes. Who sent the Bishop of Rochester to put an end to the war between Arthur and Lancelot?
Pass.
By what modern name did Mallory say the town of Astolat is known?
Pass.
After falling in love with the Duke of Tintagil's wife, to which castle did King Uther Pendragon lay siege?
Tintagel.
Terrorbill. According to Le Morte d'Arthur, which biblical king had originally owned the miraculous sword wielded by Sir Galahad?
David.
Yes, who posed as the kitchen boy Beaumains before dispossessing Sir Kay of his spear and shield?
Sir Gareth.
Yes, who was released by 4 knights on the condition that he carried the corpse of the lady he killed on his body throughout his journey to Camelot?
Balin.
Gawain. In the history of the kings of Britain, how was Uther Pendragon slain by his enemies?
Poison.
Yes, who, along with Sir Mordred, took 12 of Arthur's knights to Queen Guinevere's chamber, knowing they would find Lancelot there?
Agravain.
Yes, according to Tennyson's Morte d'Arthur, before the king's departure on a barge to the island valley of Avilion, which knight was with him as he lay mortally wounded?
Bedivere.
Correct. Which woman in Mallory accompanied Percival, Galahad and Bors in the quest for the Holy Grail?
Dindrain.
Percival's sister, yes. What was the name of the King of Cornwall whose wife fell in love with Tristan?
Mark.
Yes. Which champion did Morgan Le Fay persuade to accept a challenge on behalf of Sir Outlake?
Accolon.
Correct. In the history of the kings of Britain, by what name was Arthur's spear known?
Ron.
Ron is correct.
Ron.
Well called, right, precisely. We'll never know, will we? 3 passes. It was Guildford. The town of Astolat is actually sort of Guildford. That's the modern name. The Pope sent the Bishop of Rochester to put an end to the war between Arthur and Lancelot. And according to Geoffrey of Monmouth, Merlin's mother was the daughter of the King of Demetia. You have, Elizabeth Horrocks, 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Shaun Wallace.
Your occupation?
Barrister and lecturer.
And your specialist subject?
Fraser.
Shaun Wallace, criminal barrister and Mastermind champion 2004.
Mastermind's led to quite a few series, most notably the series which I'm involved in now called The Chase, where I'm a chaser involved in trying to prevent a quiz team of 4 people from winning thousands and thousands of pounds, and they take me on in a head-to-head.
The winner of Mastermind 2004, Shaun Wallace.
When I realised I won, it was one of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced in my entire life. You know, everything came together in terms of the struggles, the hardships, and it was just wonderful. I burst out into tears, to be fair, and I hope to have that experience again in this competition.
Frasier in 2 minutes, starting now. In the episode The Friend, what type of cooking is the obsession of Frasier's annoying new friend Bob Reynolds?
Barbecues.
Yes, to which bar does Frasier go with Martin to meet Maureen Cutler, the attractive traffic cop who's let him off a speeding ticket?
McGinty's.
Yes, which song is played over the closing credits of every episode of Frasier?
Tossoles and scrambled eggs.
Yes, why is Daphne so alarmed at finding herself in Canada during the Winnebago trip in Travels with Martin?
Because she hasn't got her visa yet to stay
Yes,
in the country.
her green card, yes. Frasier and Niles compete for the one available membership of which exclusive gentleman's club?
The Empire Club.
Yes. What is the name of the actress who plays Sherry Dempsey, Martin's loud banjo-playing girlfriend?
Marsha Mason.
Yes, Frasier's reluctant to go to his high school reunion because he believes he's always cursed to attend during a slump in his fortunes. What's the name of the school?
The Bryce Academy.
Yes, and to tell the truth, Niles discovers that Maris's family's money came not from timber, but from which other product?
Urano cakes.
Yes, Frasier decides to run for the board of his condominium after receiving a warning for what unauthorised addition to his apartment?
He put a Japanese door knocker.
Indeed. In A Crane's Critique, which new work by the reclusive author T.H. Houghton do the Crane brothers find and read?
The Chameleon Song.
Yes, when Frasier acts as a guest lecturer on a cruise to Alaska, what's the nickname of the ship's sleazy singer and 70s dance sensation, Carlos Delgado?
The Barracuda.
Correct. After Niles and Frasier's plans to introduce Martin to fine dining at Le Cigare Volant fall through, which steak restaurant does Martin insist on taking them to?
The Timber Mill.
Yes. In The Perfect Guy, the handsome and very accomplished Clint Webber's eventually found to have what flaw?
He can't sing very well.
Indeed. Which British pub in Seattle does Frasier take a liking to until Daphne asks him to stop going there because it's her retreat from work?
The Fox and Whistle.
Yes. What's the name of the supermodel zoologist that Frasier cannot convince his family he's actually dating?
Kelly Easterbrook.
Correct. Frasier struggles to write the eulogy and Niles struggles to dispose appropriately of the ashes of which unpopular relative?
Aunt Louise.
Yes. What's the name of the high school play in which Frasier has to appear in order to reclaim his father's prized old armchair, which has become part of the set?
10 Little Indians.
Is correct, and you two have a perfect round. No passes, 17 points. And our last contender, please. And your name is?
Chris Hughes.
Your occupation?
Retired train driver and egghead.
And your chosen subject?
British steam locomotives, 1900 to 1968. Sitting in the Mastermind chair, it's really quite comfortable because I'm physically extremely lazy. I'm not intellectually lazy, but I'm extremely bone idle physically. So sitting in the chair, it's a nice comfortable place to sit while your brain does the work for a change. Mastermind was very much me against the world. Come on, Magnuson, do your worst. It's Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. Eggheads, it's originally 5, now 7. You become good friends and get together to have a good time and get well paid for it into the bargain.
2 minutes on locomotives starting now. What was the name of the Great Western locomotive built in 1903 and given the number 3440, although it's sometimes been known as 3717?
City of Truro.
Yes, the first of Thomson's B1s was named Springbok in honour of a recent visit by which dignitary?
Jan Smuts.
Yes, how many 5700 class Pannier tanks, including all variants, were built in total?
863.
Yes, Vulcan Foundry and which other main outside contractor were among the builders of the early Black Fives?
Armstrong Whitworth.
Yes, what name was given to Bulleid's class 0660 tank engines, only one of which, the 36001, was steamed?
Leaders.
Yes, the LMS Bear Garretts were principally allocated to which shed, although members of the class were also based at Hasland and Wellingborough?
Towton.
Yes, from which Welsh railway did the tank locomotives numbered between 30 and 96 under BR originally come from?
Rumney Railway.
Yes, what was the axle loading of the GWR King class that led to their double red restricted route availability?
22 tonne.
22.5 tonnes. Which drawing office was ultimately responsible for the design of the Britannia class standard locomotives?
Brighton.
Derby. What nickname was given to the Great Central's class 8460s introduced in 1902 because of the goods they were designed to rapidly transport to London?
Fish engines.
Yes, name either of the Jubilees rebuilt in 1942 with a larger boiler.
Comet.
Yep. Which Highland Railways 460s were banned from working on its lines by the company's own civil engineers in 1915 because of their excessive weight?
River class.
Correct. How was the Great Western 6959 class also known?
Modified halls.
Yes. What nickname was given to Gresley's experimental locomotive number 10,000 that was built in great secrecy at Darlington in 1929?
Hush hush.
Yes. The novel features of which GWR class included continuous splashes over its driving wheels?
Counties.
Yeah. What continental style number was originally carried by Exeter, the first of Bullied's light Pacifics?
21C 100.
101. Built in 1902, Holden's Great Eastern Railway experimental tank engine number 20 was Britain's first locomotive to have how many coupled wheels?
10.
Yes. What was the name of the Southern Region locomotive 32424, the last Atlantic to remain in ordinary service in Britain?
Beachy Head.
Beachy Head is correct. No passes. I didn't get a single one of those. You have, Chris Hughes, 15 points. Well, you can tell why they're past champions. Let's have a look at those very high scores. In fourth place with 13 points, Elizabeth Horox. Third place with 15 points, Chris Hughes. Second place with 17 points, Shaun Wallace. In the lead, a big 19 points, Gavin Fuller. Round two now, general knowledge, and if there's a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the contender with the fewer passes is the winner. If they're tied on passes as well, well, then there's a tie break. So let's get on with it and ask Elizabeth Horox to join us again, please. And you have what in any normal game would be a very high score of 13 points with your knowledge of Arthurian legends. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. Here we go, starting now. What word from the Latin for I forbid refers to the power to prevent legislation or action?
Veto.
Yes, which celebrated 19th century French chemist and bacteriologist developed the germ theory of disease?
Pasteur.
Yes, which bird, as summer visited Britain, can cling to upright surfaces but is unable to perch like other birds?
Swallow.
Swift. What is the name of the Bengali boy who was the central character in a trilogy of films by Satyajit Ray, beginning with Patha Panchali in 1955?
Pass.
Which historical region of France is famously associated with black truffles?
Perigord.
Yes, in golf, what term is used for a score of 1 over par?
Birdie.
Bogey. What was the name of Britain's first nuclear power station? It opened at Seascale in Cumbria in 1956, closed in 2003.
It was Windscale.
No, Calder Hall. Which Tsar of Russia succeeded Nicholas I in 1855 and negotiated a peace to end the Crimean War?
Alexander I.
Alexander II. Which virtuoso jazz soloist formed groups in the 1920s called Hot 5 and Hot 7 and was also one of the inventors of scat singing?
Pass.
What term describes the application of an electric current to restore normal heart contractions?
Defibrillation.
Yes, in which field of design was Sir Humphrey Repton an important figure in the late 18th and early 19th centuries?
Gardening.
Correct. Which specialist shop featured as a running joke about under-rehearsed British soap operas in the BBC Two comedy programme Victoria Wood as seen on TV?
Acorn Antiques.
Yes, in 2010 a report was published on the death of a teacher killed during a protest march in London in 1979. What was his name?
Pass.
Built between 1705 and 1725 for the Duke of Marlborough, which palace lies near the Oxfordshire village of Woodstock?
Blenheim.
Correct. Which film actress was portrayed as a cruel, manipulative mother in her adopted daughter's biography, Mummy Dearest?
Oh, pass.
What were the names of the two famous Edinburgh-based murderers whose activities contributed to the passing of the 1832 Anatomy Act? It allowed the legal acquisition by medical schools of unclaimed corpses for dissection.
Burke and Hare.
Correct. The generic name for which type of building was also used by sailors for a tall ship's topmost sail?
Pass.
Well, I'll tell you, skyscrapers. Oh. The film actress, these are your passes, 5 of them, portrayed as a cruel, manipulative mother, Joan Crawford. Blair Peach was the teacher who was killed during that protest march. Louis Armstrong was the jazz soloist in question. And Apu was the name of the Bengali boy in that trilogy of films. You have a total, Elizabeth Horox, of 21 points. And now Chris Hughes, please. And you start out with 15 points, your knowledge of British steam trains. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge starting now. Which musical term, literally meaning in chapel style, is used for unaccompanied choral singing?
A cappella.
Correct. In 2008, whose face appeared on the iconic poster created by the graphic designer Shepard Fairey, along with the word hope?
Pass.
What name is given to the sap of the sapodilla tree, which is used in the production of chewing gum?
Chickley.
Yes. Which future heavyweight boxing champion won gold at the 1964 Olympics? He joined the American team after injury forced Buster Mathis to withdraw.
Cassius Clay as
Joe
was.
Frazier. What was the name of the legendary triplets who fought duels with the Cuirassiers to settle a war with ancient Rome's neighbour Alba?
Pass.
Which 1998 historical film was directed by Sheiko Kapoor and features cameos by Eric Cantona and the dancer Wayne Sleep?
Pass.
What is the name of the Hungarian premier who was deposed and executed by the Soviets after the failed uprising of 1956?
Imre Nagy.
Yes. The name of which family of Jewish patriots is given to 4 books of scripture, 2 of which appear in versions of the Old Testament?
Maccabees.
Correct. The Conservative MP Sir Peter Biggers decided to stand down at the 2010 general election, partly because he'd become notorious for claiming witch addition to his garden pond.
Duck house.
Yes. What verb meaning to put a talent or skill to corrupt use for financial gain comes from the Latin for to offer for sale?
Prostitute.
Correct. Which Rodgers and Hammerstein musical set during the Second World War won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama in 1950?
South Pacific.
Yes. Which country's parliament consists of a single chamber called the Knesset?
Israel.
Yes. David Oistrakh was a celebrated virtuoso player of which musical instrument, also played by his son Igor?
Cello.
Violin. What name meaning single opening is given to the order of egg-laying mammals that includes the duck-billed platypus?
Monotreme.
Yes. Which actresses' television roles include Doris Luke in Crossroads and Nora Batty in Last of the Summer Wine?
Kathy Staff.
Yes. Which is the southernmost capital city on the mainland of South America?
Buenos Aires.
Close Montevideo. Sigmund Freud's youngest daughter was a pioneer of child psychoanalysis. What was her first name?
Maria.
Anna. The city of Stirling lies on the bank of which river? It's over 60 miles long and empties into an inlet of the North Sea.
The Tay.
The Forth. You have 3 passes. The name of that film, including Cantona and Wayne Sleep, was Elizabeth. The face that appeared on that iconic poster was that of Barack Obama. And the name of the legendary triplets who fought duels in ancient Rome were the Horatii. 3 passes. Chris Hughes, you have a total now of 25 points. And now Shaun Wallace, please. And you have scored 17 points already with your knowledge of Frazier. 25 is the score to beat. Let's see if you can do that with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What's the name of the building in Arlington, Virginia that houses the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense?
The Pentagon.
Yes, in 1979, which Oxford-born theoretical physicist was appointed to the post of Lucasian Professor of Mathematics?
Dame Mary Warnock.
Stephen Hawking. Which art movement, whose exponents include Jasper Johns and Clyde Oldenburg, was given its name by the British critic Lawrence Alloway?
The Camden School Group.
Pop art. In the Old Testament, Joseph has 2 sons. The youngest is Ephraim. What's the name of the older one?
Benjamin.
Manasseh. In 2010, on which horse did Tony McCoy win the Aintree Grand National after 14 previous attempts at the race?
Imperial Commander.
Don't push it. Which country's last military ruler was General Ronaldo Bignone, who held power from 1982 to 1983?
Paraguay.
Argentina, whose 1958 book Borstal Boy was later adapted as a play and drew on the time he spent in Borstal after his involvement with the IRA?
Brandon Behan.
Indeed. Which independent kingdom on the Nile in the former province of Nubia conquered Egypt in the 8th century BC and established a dynasty of pharaohs?
Sudan.
Kush. What name is given to the thymus and pancreas glands of an animal when used as food?
The gizzard.
Sweetbreads. What terms used to refer to the apparent change in the position of an object when it's viewed from 2 different positions?
Parallax.
Yes. Which investment bank did the American government charge with fraud in 2010, accusing it of betting against its own clients in the property market?
Lehman Brothers.
Goldman Sachs. Newport, the administrative centre for the Isle of Wight, stands on which river?
Freshwater.
Medina. Which Beethoven overture was written to accompany a play about a 16th century Flemish hero executed by the Spanish?
Egmont.
Correct. Which small freshwater fish, often kept in aquariums, is named after the Trinidadian clergyman who sent the first specimen to the British Museum in about 1866?
Guppy.
Yes, the western portion of the island of New Guinea, belonging to Indonesia, is now called Papua. By what name was it known from 1969 to 2002?
Western Samoa.
Irian Jaya. No passes. Shaun Wallace, you have a total of 22 points. And finally, Gavin Fuller, please. And you start out with 19 points with your knowledge of Mike Oldfield. 25 is still the score to beat. Let's see how you do. Here we go. Which of Shakespeare's plays features the brothers Antonio and Prospero?
A Tempest.
Yes. What name for the French for seesaw is given to a type of bridge of which Tower Bridge is a noted example?
Bascule.
Yes. Which country took over the presidency of the European Union on the 1st of January 2010 under its Prime Minister, José Zapatero?
Portugal.
Spain. Which blue-flowered plant has a large taproot that's roasted and ground to make a common coffee substitute?
Pass.
Plough Your Own Furrow is the title of the first episode of which television comedy series set in Surbiton?
The Good Life.
Yes. Which amphibian's name comes from the fact that it's several times longer as a tadpole than it is as an adult?
Pass.
At which venue in Louisville, Kentucky did the 2008 Ryder Cup take place? It's named after a mythical home of the gods.
Valhalla.
Yes. What name was given to the legendary rock in ancient Rome from which traitors and criminals were flung to their deaths?
Capitoline.
The Tarpeian Rock. In which 1989 Kevin Costner filmed does Ray Liotta appear as the real-life baseball legend Shoeless Joe Jackson?
Field of Dreams.
Correct. Which pioneering Swiss psychologist introduced the theory of the collective unconsciousness?
Jung.
Yes. Who commanded the Anglo-Gascon Spanish army that routed the French at Nájera near Pamplona in 1367?
John of Gaunt.
Edward, Prince of Wales. Which English city close to the Welsh border has a Nelson's column dating from 1809 and a cathedral containing the UK's largest library of chained books?
Hereford.
Yes. Which of the Nobel Prizes was the first to be received twice by the same person? The American scientist John Bardeen won it in 1956 and 72.
Biology.
Physics. What term is used to describe the harmful radioactive debris created by a nuclear explosion?
Fallout.
Yes. Whose work for male voice and ensemble entitled 8 Songs for a Mad King premiered in London in 1969?
Philip Glass.
Peter Maxwell Davies. Which country is bounded by the Drakensberg and Maloti mountain ranges and has Maseru as its capital?
Lesotho.
Yes. Which Greek writer in his Poetics introduced the concept of hamartia, meaning a fatal flaw leading to the downfall of a tragic hero?
Hesiod.
No, it was Aristotle. You had 2 passes. That strange amphibian, several times longer as a tadpole than the adult, is a paradoxical frog. And the root that you can ground up to make horrible coffee is chicory.
Oh, God, yes.
However, Gavin Fuller, you have scored a total of 28 points. Well, there we are, our former champions round, and let's have a look at those champion scores. In 4th place with 21 points, Elizabeth Horox. 3rd place with 22 points, Shaun Wallace. 2nd place with 25 points, Chris Hughes. In 1st place, 28 points, Gavin Fuller. Which, of course, means that Gavin Fuller is tonight's winner and goes through to Friday's final. Congratulations to him, commiseration to all our former champions, but it's been a pleasure seeing them again and reliving some of those great moments. If you'd like to play an online version of Mastermind, become a champion of that if you like, or merely be a contender on the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and do join us next time for more Champions of Champions. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
The cream of the crop when it comes to British sports cars with Top Gear later at 8 here on BBC Two Scotland. Then later at 9, the benefits of a glass and a half of wine plus a TV chef takes to the skies with that Mitchell and Webb look.